So
I have never, ever actually had the authentic conversation with you, nor have I asked you about what the fuck happened leading up to Bound for Glory, what actually happened during Bound for Glory, and what happened after Bound for Glory. And the reason I have never, ever had this conversation with you was because, to my understanding, which was limited, there was supposed to be some sort of arcing narrative of shit. And in the industry now where everything gets stooged off, you have to protect things.
I thought.
Yeah? So...
It used to be that way.
Yeah. So, you know, I didn't ask because if a story gets out, the people who are responsible for it and know the story can do the back math and go, who knew about it?
Who knew about it? Right.
So if Cross doesn't know about it, then it definitely didn't come from him. And then I just never ever found out what happened. And I'm sure you've been asked every single month since it happened, what the hell's going on? Why not talk about it?
Well, it's the year anniversary, right?
It's the 1 year anniversary.
So you don't mind. Yeah, I know you don't partake.
No, go nuts.
CBD. No, I'm just kidding. Right. Maybe a little THC in there. Yeah, and I've actually, and part of what you were saying was, you know, when I broke into business, it was always about protecting the business and what happens behind the curtain. And I've kind of really done that most of my career, maybe to a fault at sometimes, and never really, you know, spoken freely, like a lot of people do about like the inner workings, or, you know, I call it magic, right? Because I like to still think people want to believe, even if they want to be smart to it. I think they're still like, we're smart to movies, that they're not real, but we want to lose ourselves, I think, sometimes, and not be reminded. So the reason like we never talked about it was, and what I kind of always appreciated our friendship, is you always kind of respected those boundaries and weren't a gossip guy that had to know everything. And you figured if you needed to know, I would have told you. And I've always kind of vice versa in your situations and shit, kind of the same thing, man. Like, you know, we don't really pry.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, a year later, I mean, shit, seems like a good time as any to talk about it.
Might as well.
I mean,
might as well. Because there was never any clarity that was provided at all to anyone about what was going on, including all of us who continued to work there.
And I felt bad about that. And I think, too, like, you know, I've been kind of, you know, painted in a certain light because of all the surrounding issues around it and the questions and no one really knowing. So, and, you know, we can all say we don't really care what people think about us or say about us, but, you know, I think it's kind of human nature. And kind of still, we're all human, right?
Sure.
And I think we always want to be judged on the full scope of who we are and what we're about. So,
100%.
So let's talk about the Bound for Glory saga. So, where do we start? So a couple months before Bound for, I think about a couple months before Bound for Glory, I got a call from, pretty sure it was Don. Don was kind of my creative guy, right? And Don loves me. I'm one of the best in the fucking world.
Okay.
That's coming from Don Callis' mouth, not mine.
Okay.
Champ. And they basically call me and they're saying, hey, like, you know, we want to, because you understand, I was signing these 3-month contracts. Because it's like, as long as we're in the honeymoon phase, you have to keep wooing me. You know the deal, man. Because these contracts, and this is how wrestling's been on one side, they can get out of them when they want, but we don't have the same right. And that, I just felt, I told these guys, listen, with all due respect, everything that I've been through in this company, I don't want to work for you guys. I work with you, but I need to keep some flexibility. And I was actually trying to do some goodwill ambassadoring on their behalf by going and working with those promotions. And because I didn't have to deal with those guys, and we're dealing with me and my word, and for a lot of these guys, it was better that way. So I just felt like I could be more beneficial in that sense, and not being locked in. But so I didn't have a long contract. But leading up to Bound for Glory, they said, hey, we'd like you to sign you long term. And they called and said, listen, we want to keep the belt on you. BFG, we want to keep you long term. We had some ideas that we thought, the three of us, and I felt that OVE eventually baby faces, they kind of want to be.
Of course.
And us as the heel faction, we heat these guys up, and if they thought Sandy was the guy, then cool, then let's build that into the next year or whatever. So, on that conversation, I said to him, man, this is the funny part. I said, listen, it might not be bad to give John like the kind of Pentagon title run, and like put it on him for a little bit. I was like, I think back to Flair, and that's the wrestling I grew up on. Like, his job was to make guys and help raise guys up and create guys. He didn't always have to have the title.
Sure.
But he always was there to elevate whoever was needed to be elevated until you made the guy, or you had guys surround him. So, the thing with John was like, well, hey, he's on Survivor. You guys are trying to do a new TV deal. He looks like $1 million. Like, if I'm putting a poster together and I'm with a bunch of TV execs, I'm gonna go, yeah, that's our champ. Like, I'll put him on there, man, not me. That's just business. So I said there'd be nothing wrong with doing something like that. Give him a little thing, and then you can always bring it back to me. And then if we want to, Sammy's a guy and keep that feud up, we'll get there. No. We just want to keep it consistency. We want to build with you guys. Cool, no problem. So that's the backstory. It's like for a lot of people think like, oh, I dropping the title. Like, I suggested it, man. Like, absolutely. That was one of the first things I said. But they just said, hey, we want to keep you long term. Give the belt some consistency, build you up, build this up. Awesome. So we go and we film TV. And, when you know the end of the story, you're going to try to craft things a certain way.
Sure.
And one thing that Bret Hart's always said is, even as a heel, like, never be a liar. Like, if you say things you don't deliver, like, then your word's meaningless.
Yeah.
Over time, your word's meaningless.
Yeah.
And it's just a simple thing. And so, I had an idea of how I wanted to set the stage for this, give a good main event. And so we went and filmed 6 weeks of TV. And so we took about 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. And I'm supposed to do media. And like when your intuition is just kind of kicking in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And I've got pretty good intuition. And then so when your intuition kicks in, you start looking for, you see a couple things. And so I made a couple phone calls, and I said, hey, before I do like this, big round of media, everything's still happening the way that we've discussed. Like, it's still we think we're going to do the title switch and put it on John, this and that. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, okay, like, I don't give a fuck you're putting it on John, but we just did 6 weeks of TV. And plus, here's the other thing. As the guy who originally suggested it, you guys had some big, long creative meeting and made this switch. And, like, why was I not a part of this? Because they knew, like, the whole time I was there, for me, communication's important.
Sure.
Like, I like to think I have a lot to offer creatively, not just for me, but and I know a lot of places, they don't fucking want that. They don't want chefs where you're just supposed to be a line cook.
Sure.
And you're a pain in the ass if you're consistently talking about the recipe and how the buns could be steamed a little nicer and the burgers would taste better. Like, you just shut the fuck up and flip the burgers. We've sold a billion of these things. Sure. They're paying for the arch. They're not paying for the recipe, right? So a lot of places that they don't want that. That wasn't this place. Like, I think, to their credit, man, like they're willing to take the creative wherever it was coming from for the most part, to at least they're open to, at least in the beginning it seemed.
Sure.
And then when the communications kind of stopped, for me that's, when you're not communicating, that's when, things start to take lives of their own, right?
They sure do.
So, I was just hot because I was like, first of all, like, I should feel like I should be part of the process. Here's the other thing. They start wavering on that, well, actually we're going to, we can send you that contract. My contract's coming up at the pay-per-view.
I remember that.
And so, like, I'm also guys like, hey guys, like, you keep saying you want to sign me long term, like, my deal's coming up, And my whole thing was this. I went in that ring that night and I cut that promo on John, and I walked in there and I basically said, I'm going to beat you. And I said, if I knew that wasn't the case, I would have said 100. I would have said I'm going to embarrass you, or just other things I could have said.
Sure.
Right? And so I just said, guys, like, like, whatever the decision was is fine, but this is why I'm upset. I wasn't part of the discussion, which it doesn't matter, and I wasn't let in on this decision until I had to kind of find it out. Whatever. So that was whatever. Okay, fine. Well, now, dude, here's the way I think about it. Like, if I'm in the main event, like the Moose match, right? We had to go out there and have an awesome main event, and my job is to kind of elevate him. I'm going to keep the belt, I'm going to go over, but I need to get him over. Okay. I thought we did that. albeit with 12 minutes less time because the match before us got a little greedy. But they
remember
got
that.
match of the year, so at least they got match of the year with my 12 minutes. If I took 12 minutes of someone's match, I'd get match of the year tonight too. Just saying. Not our formula. 1-2-0, 1-2-0, 1-2-0. No, so anyway. When you have a title switch, man, I think like it's got to be a moment. I'm really happy in my career, man. Like a lot of the big moments I've been a part of have been losing titles, and I take pride in that.
Yeah.
The CM Punk loss, fucking Tyler Black and Ring of Honor, pulling teeth to, they drug that shit out for so long to get the people to care about him again. I had to give him a shitty 60-minute draw in a blizzard to just make him hate my guts and be so disgusted that I prayed that they'd want to just finally see this dude kick my ass. And I think they did. But so there's a pride in that, man. And so now I'm thinking like, well, I got 2 weeks. TV's been set. And there's so then there's the tweet. And this is what started everything, dude.
That's where I recall most of the drama occurring.
Yeah, which is funny. So I saw the tweet that John put out, and it just made some reference to like me being a midget or my height or something. Which, listen, like everybody, like I've stopped growing when I was like 15, so I'm used to like walking around life like this. I'm just telling people like when you walk around at 5'7", like it's different than if you're 6'7". I had this discussion with Matt Boone before. They're telling me how to go beat Baron Corbin. How many times have you fought a guy a foot taller than you? Give me advice, I appreciate it. I'm just saying, like, my strategy would be a little different. So, it doesn't bother me. Like, dude, I'm like, trust me, words don't hurt my feelings. Like, I'm a big proponent of sticks and stones, and I think we become oversensitive to words without the context or the meaning behind the word, and that's dangerous. And so, but the hypocrisy of, being told, like, literally one of the sayings in our business is a good big man beats a good little man every day of the week. Meaning literally, like, I will always be inferior no matter what the fuck I do because of something I have no control over. And that sounds a lot like other people's plights, not to compare, but when you start telling someone you'll always be less than someone because of this, I don't care what the fuck that is, like, either it's cool or it's not.
Sure.
And so, my point in that tweet was to say, and, man, like, okay, it's still cool to just midget this or that or jokes or pile on, but if I were to say anything about your husky wife, your gay look, like all these things. Now here's the funny part, and here's where you guys all get let in. I text John before I put that tweet out, right? Because I don't want him getting any real heat with your lady, like I'm not trying to, and I've always, and this is a whole other story, but somebody's like, that's not true because you stuck your dick in the chick's face once. No, I've always respected my colleagues, female colleagues especially, and so I just texted my boss, hey dude, I saw your tweet or whatever, and this was the response that popped in my head. Would there be any, like, is there any issue or feelings? If there is, you just tell me, I'll switch it to your mom. I mean, it's an easy switch. And they wrote back, said, dude, we think it's fucking hilarious. Like, we're going to be super offended. I was like, cool. And understand, like, I'm very careful about how I craft my shit, dude. I know that if you don't step on the fucking line, if you don't step on it, no one cares about the tweet. No one talks about it.
Sure.
So I had to say, first of all, husky's fucking hilarious. I don't care what anybody says. Like, if I go like you're fat, well, that's not funny. Husky is fucking clever and witty. Remember Husky jeans?
I do.
As a kid?
I do.
Yeah, I did not wear those. I did not wear the Huskies.
So this was all premeditated?
So, it wasn't being premeditated. I just, listen, like, out of respect to my colleagues, dude, I'm not, like, I just want to say, and listen, I know her past, and I'm not trying to, like, women, feelings, dude. Like, I'm not trying to legitimately hurt anyone's feelings. So I just want to say, hey, is it like, hey, dude, you think, that'd be cool, like, if she thinks she's going to feel away, I'll whatever. They're professional, like, it's fucking great, put it out there. So I put it out there, and yeah, man, like, it got a lot more than I even really thought it was, but people want to be outraged, and they don't read the context. Like, they literally reacted the exact way of what I said they would, and they just started coming with a lot of fucking derogatory shit, and I was like, and, okay, like, now listen, if I say something looks gay, I don't think that's derogatory. Elton John has his gay look, and it's not gay look.
Sure.
Right? If I say I won't go watch Elton John if he's going to be in that gay look, Like, that's a whole different context.
That's a different context,
right?
sure.
And so, but we can't use context on Twitter.
Right.
You know, Twitter's to read and react, respond, read, react, respond. And so I put that out there, and everyone read, react, and responded. And before you know it, here's the funny part: I get a call from Don. Hey, champ. Hey, Don, what's going on? You got any problems here? Or, Jesus Christ, Don. No, dude, no fucking problems, bro. Like, okay, well, you know, some language here. If you guys were, like, we probably asked you, do you guys mind taking it down? I was like, I don't, sure, dude, because now people will really bother with it.
Sure, they got triggered in the wrong way rather than...
Yeah, well, because here's what I've realized, man. When you start dealing with, like, corporations who don't know wrestling, they don't understand the work.
Right.
And a lot of times in my career, like, the wrestling people get it when it gets to the next level, and they can't explain it to these people in the suits. They just gotta go back down and go, just fucking make that go away, clean that up. Because they don't get it. He's supposed to be getting this reaction. Like, he's not.
Right.
But so blurred the lines, and so now we had some buzz. And so, mind you, I booked my own travel. Like, so I wasn't kind of given, I didn't know to get there like 2 days before, so I was there for the Hall of Fame in time. Because usually I'll fly the day of.
Sure.
You know, to be there the night before the show, but by the time I booked my travel. So anyway, this starts blowing up. They're all there for media. Don calls and says, hey, like, they want to bring him on TMZ. You know? And I'm like, actually two thoughts on that. My first thought was, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
My second thought was, TMZ, what you guys used to fucking bury me in the Christy Henry situation and throw me under the fucking rug. But that was a different regime at a different time, so...
Okay.
But there's a little bit of that. Like, but again, I don't get to go and defend myself. You're going to go out there, and people don't know, so you're going to go... So anyway, so they go on TMZ. I'm thinking this is good, but look at this fucking buzz I created. A fucking tweet.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Sure.
And,
you're getting your heat. You're identifying with an audience, whether they're paying attention as a residual demographic or just coming in there, they're the bad guy.
And here's the thing too, man. Like, I always look at, like, you know, when you try to, like, help elevate a guy, like, I'm going to look at, like, what people look at as your like, perceived weakness, so, like, maybe the chink in your armor. And I just thought, like, with John, like, I've never seen him fight. Like, he's a fucking amazing athlete. He looks like $1 million. Like, he's cool as fuck. You know? But, like, if you spit in this lady's face, like, what's he going to do? Is he going to, like, if you get in a bar brawl, like, where's John? Because if he's going to beat me, like, I got to bring that side of him out.
Sure.
Because we know he can do all that, but I can compete with him there. But, like, if I take it there, I want to see this guy get mean. And I want to see him get nasty. Because I think for a lot of guys, a lot of fans, and I'm not going to name names, like, why is this guy never connect? There's never a top guy. There was that moment where you were scared of that dude. Or where you went like, ooh, like, I don't, like, and I'm not a big dude, but I have this intensity where I can flip this switch to where people go, all right, I believe that I won't want to fuck with that dude. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think for some guys, like, you know, do I ever see it? Do I ever feel it? And so with John, I wanted to, like, kind of bring it out. And so making this personal now was a vehicle to do that.
Right.
So now they're on TMZ and they're doing their thing and it's cool. And then, you know, this idea for the Hall of Fame thing, which I was like, you know, this is on board, like, it's cool. So, like, you know, again, only a handful of people knew Don and Scott, you know, I think, you know, obviously, you know, Johnny and Chris. And, but, like, I was, like, pissed because the guys, I'm flying over, I better make this thing. Like, I don't want to miss a business Hall of Fame speech. Like, I love that dude. You know, that guy's been there forever. So I was kind of legit, like, I need to get there. So I legit got there when I did, and or Don was on the phone, or like they texted me in the airplane. Oh, and here's the other good part that I'll get to on my flight over. One, he's like, all right, so you get this stuff. Like, gosh, the more you talk about it, the less organic it is. Like, I know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just sit back and enjoy the show. But then I get a fucking email from Scott. It's my contract extension. Extension.
Okay.
They sent me a 3-month extension on my flight over when my contract would expire the next day. Which is like, that's very much like old standard business of like, I don't know if it's every wrestling company, but they wait till the last second and then they throw you shit so they feel like you're in this corner. And he sent it to me. And first of all, it wasn't like the year contract. Like, they're like, why do I keep you around? Like, so now it's, well, here's what we'll get to that. So I sent it back to him and said, hey, dude, why don't you just draw it up for 3 days? Gets us through TV, and then you've got a month to figure this out before you come to Vegas.
Yeah.
That way we'll get your TV in. Just draw an extension up for that. I'll extend it there. And then we got a month before you come to Vegas, and we'll figure out what we're doing here.
Sure.
So that was really, and then, okay. Get there, do the angle at the Hall of Fame. That goes off pretty well. Albeit that dude some guy caught a fucking book bag in the face. I didn't throw it. So now we're getting a good buzz, and so now we're going off for glory, and the conversation was basically, so what are we doing on TV? Before I sign this, what are we doing on TV? What do you have? And it was, I show up next week, and it's a tag match or something. As like Conor McGregor's and talk mad fucking shit, lose, and then come back the next day and like start like nothing happened. Like I gotta go away for at least a couple weeks, dude.
Sure.
Plus, like the TV show could do without me on there for a bit. Like freshen up, get a new champ. Like let Moose and Kevin step up, and let me go away for a little bit. Lick my fucking wounds, man. I said that that way I'll show to come on Monday. And plus, and then I said then on Tuesday, then maybe you can have Scarlett if you're doing a smoke show. Is like have her be like, hey, I'm gonna be the one to get fucking him back here next week and promote that way, and then they wanted to set up a rematch.
Yep.
The finish of the rematch was supposed to be John over on me, but my foot under the ropes lead to controversy, which then I'd do a three-way to pay-per-view with Cage, and I was going to go under there.
Okay, yeah. All right.
And so I was like, wait a minute, guys. Yeah. I was like, okay, listen. I was like, I've been the champ like this whole year and been fucking, handling myself pretty well. And now you put like the two baddest motherfuckers in this company behind me, and I can't win a fucking match. I was like, I said, what does that do for anybody? I said, I don't think you guys really have a plan. I said, you guys switched this. You had a plan and you switched it for whatever reason, and you don't have a good plan now. I said, guys, I'm not obligated to go do anything tomorrow on TV. You understand that? Like, I'll do good business tonight, but I don't have to come and do anything tomorrow I'm not comfortable with. I'm not obligated to you guys to do that. I said, so if that's your plan, then like, how about we just keep me off TV for 4 weeks? And I said, listen, I got this idea. I said, this match is over. I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna fucking leave. And I said, I'm gonna leave so that when I come back, so I'm gonna be gone now for a few weeks. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? Create this fucking buzz. And now when I come back, like we'll come back with something. And I was like, because if we don't have, like, I'm not cool with that. And I don't think that helps these guys, it's not helping me. And so that was kind of the plan. And like, I didn't tell you, I didn't tell Moose because like we would act surprised.
We were surprised.
Like act surprised at the end. No, I didn't. I had in my mind what it was. And I was like, and so like, the whole idea was like, to work people now, you have to blur the lines of what they think they know.
Of course.
Behind and front of the scenes, and they know down into the sky, and they know this shit. And like, sometimes you have to pull from reality too.
Yeah.
And there was some reality to this, is why there was authentic. But so understand, like, when I walked in there that day, like, I carried a very uncomfortable energy all fucking day. Why? Because where are half the marks, and where are half the dudes that are fucking leaking shit to the dirt sheets?
I remember that.
They're in the fucking back.
Yeah.
And I know that people are watching me all day. And listen, I've walked around TNA enough days in my life with a real fucking animosity and really pissed off, and maybe you can relate, to where it was easy to fucking channel that feeling or remember and just walk around with it.
Sure.
And I'm a fucking actor. I'm actually a really good actor. Which some people don't realize, but some of us, we're good actors. You're a good actor.
Thank you.
And so I remember even talking the match up with John, and I do a lot of this to him, like, yeah, sure, right. And then I walk away from it for a minute. I'm just watching all these fucking, it's the young kids and shit, like, and I go, and it's just easy shit that I've done for years. I do this to you. I love your fucking shirt, man. It looks good. Ever talk,
Right.
And now they're like, oh man, like, look at her over there. Fucking Aries is pissed, this and that. And so, my whole thing with the match, that's one of my favorite fucking matches ever. And John's one of his favorite matches he's had.
It was one of my favorite matches that you guys did too, by the way. And I told the both of you that immediately after that.
Like, because no one thinks it's real anymore.
That's
like,
right.
No one, like, everything's out there, we're doing some fucking routine that we've rehearsed.
Yeah.
And, god damn it, like, I remember before we went out there, and I just said to us, hey, we've worked long enough to know the difference between a guy's working with us and a guy that's really not. And the difference between giving shit to a dude and having to take it.
Yep.
I said, so if we really fucking had beef, we'd be professional, but we ain't gonna fucking be giving each other shit, so we have to take it. I said, so that's what I want to do out there. And right before I went out there, I said, hey, dude, I said, I just want you to know, man, I respect you. Like, there's no fucking, not no respect for you. I said, so anything happens out there, we'll put on a good show. I said, don't think there's any intention or anything behind it. I'm just going to say that because I know we're going to go out there and fucking deliver.
Yeah.
And
which you did.
And we did. And he said, man, thanks for saying that before we went out there. It was a couple times.
Well, there was a couple times Moose and I were watching, and we looked at each other, and we just kind of blankly stared at each other, and went, what the fuck's going on? And I remember looking under the bottom rope at Taya across the ring, and she was looking at me like do something. And I'm looking at her with that same point. So I can't.
She's so good, too.
Yeah, and I was just like, bro, we were all out there going, what the fuck? So the formula to get there worked, but
the aftermath.
Yes.
Right? So I leave. I know Scott's going to be back there. Oh, they had the posting there that they put up afterwards. Like, I just happened to catch that shit. I just happened to know his mother fucked him right around the door.
I got to ask you this because everyone's going to want me to ask this and be pissed if I don't.
Yeah.
Tell people if the nip up at the end of the match was a shoot or you were working them.
It wasn't a nip up. If you watch, okay, it was 1, 2, 3.
Right.
4, 5, 6. I kind of rolled to my feet. I even used the ropes to help me get out, which you should never do.
Sure.
But no, I rolled to my feet. And listen, I watched it back and I go, here's the thing. When Conor McGregor lost, did he sit there rolling around on the mat afterwards?
No.
He hasn't had to fight, so the dude hop over the cage 15 seconds later. So there's what people think should happen in wrestling, I lost. I was pissed.
Yeah.
The star shape, that fucking thing, that'll get you down for 3.1 seconds. That's a horseshit finisher. Let's be honest. The thing that beat me was my fucking brain buster before. If you watch, the Starship Pain, I just, okay, but now if I want to work you fuckers, I sold. No selling is what you guys do when you kick out of his finisher 4 times every match, so you get holy shits.
Yeah.
I didn't kick out of anything that whole fucking match.
Sure.
I took the pin, 1, 2, 3, and then I got up 4, 5, 6, and I motherfucked Don Callis and said, I hope you're happy now. This is your guy. Let's see what he can do. And I walked out, and yeah, man, you blur the lines a little bit because, they let my contract run out because they played a game with chicken when I told them I wasn't blinking anymore.
Oh, that's unheard of.
Yeah, and so that's the reality, and here's what happened after the fact. They had a month then, after that. Mm-hmm. I was supposed to come back.
We were expecting you back in Vegas.
I was supposed to come back in Vegas. So mind you now, I've already lost out on 4 paydays for TV. By this.
Yep.
Now I'm going to come back in Vegas. Well, I get a call now the shit's hitting the fan and everyone's, listen, here's what people don't realize. Wherever your take on it is this, I looked at this. If it was the last thing I did for that company, there was 1 million+ views on the end of that match. People watched. I'm going to say a lot of people probably have no idea that Impact Wrestling existed or John Morrison was still wrestling or the fuck Austin Aries was. And I figured, well, I brought a bunch of eyes to the product. I also for myself, I kept my value high. I walked out with more buzz as the champ. I walked as a champ. I left defeated, and I walked out with more buzz and value if they had capitalized on it than any other fucking way possible. Plus, no one's ever going to forget fucking John Morrison's Bound for Glory title win. It's a moment.
Yeah. Nobody knew what was going on in that match watching it, and they were zeroed in. You know what I mean?
And I gave him immediately value to the minute I walked back in a rematch.
Sure.
I did all those things, and I took a huge beating for it. For a bunch of people who thought I was unprofessional or didn't know how to do my fucking job. But I thought, honestly, in the whole equation, I was probably the most professional person there. In spite of them kind of fucking me around and doing the shit with the contract, I went out there and delivered a fucking awesome match. I left them with 1 million fucking views on their company. I left myself with value to come back and get an immediate rematch that they would have capitalized on. They could have made money with, and they didn't do any of those things.
No.
And so they decided not to use me in Vegas because again, now the suits are here. Well, maybe we'll let it die down a little bit. So we're going to sit down in Vegas and talk about the contract. They sent me the same old contract that I hadn't signed for 2 years with one difference that I did appreciate, which was they gave me an out clause.
Wow.
Which I say is how it should be for all of us. If your business has the right to terminate the agreement, then my business should have the same right. Because if your business is doing bad business that's affecting my business, then I should have the right to leave there. I should be able to give you 60 or 90 days. Go, hey man, your business is hurting my business. I'm an independent contractor, and I have the right to leave.
Yep.
And so that was the one thing I fought for. I'm not gonna. because we can fight about money and all those other things, but give me the same right to leave as you have. You know, and so they put that in there. I did appreciate that, but the money was the same. They wanted more control over things like social media, which I'm just not a fan of. And the problem was they waited till the day before they were in town for Don to text me and go, hey, you free tomorrow 11:30? Well, I mean, you goddamn better hope so, because if I'm not, that's the only fucking chance you ever talk to me, because you literally waited until 48th hour and 2-day notice to bring me in.
Not that it matters not to stir things, but
Yeah.
did your intuition tell you that was deliberate, or do you think that was just bad timing?
I just think that here's what it is, man. If you can't offer people the money that you want, then you can at least make them feel like they're wanted and they're important.
Sure.
I always said we don't have to. If we go to work, we don't have to feel respected. And if we're making a lot of money, we'll eat a lot of shit sandwiches.
Sure.
And if we go there and we're being treated with respect and we love our job, then we'll do that. But if it's just one or the other. And so I don't think it was deliberate. And listen, so we all sat down here, and I just, first of all, I said, listen, guys, I'm not going to lock myself in now at the same number. I said, I just got to feel like right now what was happening is everyone was saving their money for when Kenny and Cody and the Bucks all became free agents. So everyone was trying to, get all their money together. It's like free agency, and all the teams are trying to buy the, top free agents. And, and so no one wants to make a move on the second-tier guys until they know what's going to happen. And so I felt like these guys were trying to sign me on a discount deal for them while they kind of kept their over the money. Well, it's cool. I see why you're saving it. Because, if you can get Chris or you can, that's a game changer, guys.
Sure.
But I'm not going to lock myself in now for the same terms that weren't good a year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So my compromise, first of all, I brought up that, you send me a contract on the way over. Here's why I feel the way I do. Communications broke down. You changed this. You don't tell me this. You send this over. Well, we're understaffed. We're underworked. And it's true, man. The guys there, listen, they're all wearing a bunch of hats. They're working their ass off.
Yeah.
Sanjay was.
Oh my God.
This was. They've been guys plucked from production. It's been tough, man, and they've been managing, and I give them all the props on that. It's not easy. So for me to say, hey, listen, my compromise to you guys not being able to pay me what I think I'm worth is I'll give you my time. I want to come up and creative. Let me come to Canada, sit with you guys, help with ideas. Hopefully, maybe that helps business. If you guys don't have enough people, I'd love to come and learn. I'd love to come and help. I'm an ideas guy. I'm not a decision maker. I don't want to be a decision maker. I'm an ideas guy. And, it's a conflict of interest. Basically, I'm a threat, dude. You guys are a threat to people, which is what I've been told and what I've come to find out. I don't have skeletons in my closet. I shoot it fucking straight. I believe there's a right way to do business. I'm not shy about it. And then, I'm pretty good at what I do. How many 5'7", 160-pound dudes have been I'm not shooting. I'm 5'8", 175 most of my career.
All due respect to anybody out there, Brian Danielson and you are the only two people that come to mind.
Yeah, and Brian's a legit 185, 190. He's bigger than me. I've lied about my fucking height and weight, don't we all?
Yeah.
Remember my first match, the guys all wrestlers are 200 pounds. So I was like, at 200 pounds, I'm $150, and the whole front row is dudes started laughing.
Sure. It's a context and narrative for people on TV. You know what I mean? It's
but the NBA does it. We all had 2 inches and 20 pounds. Sometimes I had just a few more. My always thing was if you're over 6'2", you should be able to wear lifts.
Yeah.
Because then what good does it do me wear lifts if you're wearing lifts? Because I'm still 6 inches shorter than you. Anyway, getting off on tangents. But yeah, dude. So it was frustrating, dude, because that was a conflict of interest. And then shortly thereafter, Sanjay left and Abyss left, and they brought Tommy and Conan in, which is no conflict of interest at all. And it's just, listen, I'm not going to say it's it's been what it's been since I left. At no point have I gone back and gone, man. And, and I ended up, calling around Christmas and just saying, hey, man, before we get through the holidays, I'm going to pass on the contract. I appreciate it. I'm going to let this ride and see where things are at. I said, but I'm still open to new business. I said, if you want to stoke the flame, here's my idea, dude. I swear to fucking God, and this is probably a good way to end it. They had the homecoming pay-per-view coming up in Nashville. And I said, listen, if you guys want to keep this thing going, this is how committed I fucking am to pro wrestling, man.
Can't wait to hear this. Okay.
I said, after the match, you got fucking Cage and Morrison, right? And after the match, don't fucking tell nobody. Come to the crowd, fucking start getting on Morrison. I said, send the cops out and have them fucking arrest me. Just bail me out. Don't fucking, I'm not press charges.
Like shoot, get arrested.
Like I'm not like bucket list, right? I'm kind of a pussy. I want to be arrested under a controlled environment. Like, right? I know it's not like, you know, like, but yeah, I was like, fuck, like, how hot would that be, right? Like, don't really tell anybody, like, have me fucking hop the guardrail. Like, everybody like, what the fuck? I started getting on John, like, he knows.
Sure.
Let the cops come in, fucking haul me away.
Sure.
It's fucking great.
That would have been great.
We'll stoke it here. Now we got another month or two for you guys to, you know, whatever. Like, I wanted to have a payoff.
Yeah.
There was no point on having a payoff. But the thing was, if there's not a payoff, well, guess what? Like, I left in a way that, you know what, like, I left with some value. I left with a buzz. I left with a story to tell. And I left with every bit of good intentions of coming back and doing something great, you know, and you know, I thought we were going to do it some other places, like in Australia, as I capitalize on it, and, you know, but anyway.
Do you feel that you were dismissed in such a way where, well, first of all, let me rephrase that. Do you feel that you were dismissed? In retrospectively, when you look back at this, like, I follow everything you said, but I just don't understand how there was a failure, I mean, I guess deliberate, to bring you back. Why was the value not exercised in this? I fail to understand where all this fell through.
You know,
because they hemorrhaged a lot of players. Everyone began leaving. So...
No, listen, man, like, I am who I am, dude. And I'll take the good with the bad, but, like, I try to be, you know, if you put me in a position to be a leader, like, I'm going to go out there and like, I'm not afraid to speak up. I try to look out for everybody. That's fucking bit me in the ass more than once.
Oh, tell me about it.
You know, looking out for the guys, you know, who are making $100 or $200 a night. Because, you know, and so, but listen, man, if you don't have those guys in the locker room, and I'm not going to say, like, there weren't a lot of those guys in the locker room when I left, dude, like, who was there to step up? And then guys like Sanjay left and Abyss, who've been there forever, like, who was left to step up? And you know, and so, yeah, dude, like, you know, this is a very selfish business. And so to get guys who are always thinking of the bigger picture, maybe sometimes in spite of themselves, their reputation or whatever people might think.
Yeah.
You know, listen, and I've leaned into it, man. It was easy for me to lean into Bound for Glory because everyone already thinks these fucking things about me. That I quit WWE. Like, I didn't quit fucking WWE. The only job I ever quit was Hula Hands. My serving job. Right when I first started, it was in Minnesota when I first started wrestling, man. I was working a fucking double. Well, I wasn't supposed to work. I worked it, but the guy, the manager asked me to work a double to cover for the new waitress he was banging, and I was just hot. I was just like, no, you know what? Nah, fuck you. Like, you know what? I think I'm out of here, man. Like, I've been trying to get that waiter job in the bar for mine, so now because, you know, Vanessa's in here, and you need me to cover for her because she's sick again. Anyway, that's the only job I ever... Okay, to be fair, I quit a telemarketing job once, like an hour and a half in. That was, because I used to do telemarketing when I was like high school and shit. And so, again, when I first started wrestling, there was no GoFundMe.
Sure.
So I had to fucking like just figure it out. And so when I was like, well, I'll do some telemarketing. And it was for fucking windshields. Call people. Hello, Mrs. Smith. Do you or anybody know has a chipped or cracked windshield?
Do you need a windshield?
Yeah.
Your car happens to not have a
I did this for like an hour, and I just was like, it's like, hey, dude, listen, man, I can't fucking do this. I'm sorry. I thought I could, but I'm not going to get through the fucking day on this one. Like, so I did quit those two jobs. But, like, no, man, I never quit a job. I've decided not to resign. I've been released. I've been traded once. Nobody knows about that. I was sold and traded from TNA to Ring of Honor on the secret download. I wasn't even supposed to know about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a good story. I'll tell that sometime.
Interesting.
But I don't want to give all the secrets away in the first one. But,
that's,
yeah, dude, so, I mean, that's the whole story, man. And, like, you know, I think part of the reason I wasn't including people in it because I was holding out hope, like, I didn't care. Like, okay, so I was like, well, just because I won't sign a fucking year deal, like, we can still do business. Like, it's, I mean, I don't know fucking, like, and I think it was one of those where it was like, hey, like, that's our number, which is fine.
Yeah.
And I didn't even ask for money. I said, well, then let me come and be a part of the process and get some value there.
Sure.
Because adding that to my resume and learning that process and helping business in that way, like the Follow By episode.
Yeah.
That was my fucking idea.
Yeah. No, I remember that.
And I said, we'll do it, but you have to give us like 18, we need at least 18 minutes for the main. Like let's give them a payoff. We could have my favorite episodes, dude, and they didn't capitalize on that.
No, they didn't. We
could
have
do shit with it.
We could have kept Fala in the main swing of shit right from that match, and he would have never been.
And they didn't do it.
No, they didn't. It was fucked.
And like,
it was fucked.
And that's, you know, anyway, as long as we're touching on this day in history.
Sure.
A little other part of this was like, this was 6 years to the day that TNA had done the same thing when they made me drop the title to Jeff Hardy.
Holy shit.
And so it's like, you guys are like fucking doing the same, it's like the same shit repeating itself. And I made a comment today on Twitter about how that's easily one of the worst booking decisions. And I fucking stand by that. And for a simple reason, dude. Like, and take me out of the equation. Just put random dude there. Organically hot. People are behind him. He's proving that he's delivering every step of the way. They want to see it. So, I'm going up against the top babyface, the #1 merch seller. Mm-hmm. Okay? And the people, I was as fucking over, if not more than Jeff Hardy at this point. Mm-hmm. Jeff doesn't need the belt. Your belt's your prop, man. Like, here's the reality of it. His contract was coming up, and someone there thought that by putting the belt on him.
Oh, like they were going to belt mark him?
Yeah, because they were marking.
Yeah.
And he didn't want the belt. He doesn't need the belt. He doesn't make any more money. Like,
well, he's eternally over.
It did right. So what you do there is he makes me. He godfathers my ass. Yeah. I beat and not turn heel on him, which I fought so fucking hard that day, because all it did was change the kind of match we had to have. Instead of let's go, I said I want to do like fucking you guys. The crowd's split, man. This isn't the debate season, man. Let's fucking get t-shirts, blue or red, and fucking like we're not going to sway anyone's opinion.
Sure. But
we could have went out and had a beautiful fucking wrestling match.
Yep.
If I didn't have to kick him in the balls 3 days before and be a heel. And now what? We're going to go fucking everywhere. Nah, he already had a feud match. He had Bobby and fucking Storm on there like you had that covered. Let us go out and give you the fucking greatest man and fucking Enigma spectacle of a wrestling match, and then put your baby face over and create a new top merchandise seller. Have Jeff Hardy go, this is the fucking man.
Right.
Because that right there made me.
Sure.
And they like to think giving you the belt makes you. No, that gives you the opportunity to be made.
Dude, how many people have you seen in history when they give the belt to somebody and it didn't matter the audience? The audience wasn't behind them. No. You can't just put a belt on somebody and give them a cover and the audience.
And there was so much left for me to do because I wanted to, there were so many like matchups we could have had, and just literally me going to here, we can go. There's some dude calling himself the best in the world, but we know that the best match every week's happening right here on Impact, or TNA Wrestling, and if anyone disagrees, you can come down here any week you want and prove me wrong. Right. And we had a bunch of guys, like me and AJ never really had a program. Like there's no other thing we could have done. And it's just, the Jeff Hardy redemption story. Like, how would we reward no offense, but how would we reward the guy who never had to fucking have redemption? And it's great to fucking pick the guy up who's lost his way and is trying to better his life, but why is it always expense the guy who always had the willpower to not put himself there in the first place? And that was my thing. Like, this is great and all, but like, you're doing something that doesn't need to be done. That's undermining everything you just did. So that's why that booking decision was like. But what I suggest is that we ended up doing a 3-way. Like the one thing I hated about me winning the title was they had built up Bobby and Storm for so long, and like they and it just kind of like got dropped in a way, and I was like, I wanted to bring it back around. Right, and bring this back around to Storm.
Yeah.
So like a 3-way, because so now basically the scenario would be like it would be a 3-way match, and it's like he wants to be the world champion.
Sure.
But he wants to get his revenge on fucking Bobby Roode.
Okay.
But he can't do both in one fight. It's gonna be
one or the other. There's your drama.
And so now at the end of the match, it was like we're fucking down, and like I'm fucking up. And he fucking super kicks me, and I'm out, and as he goes for the cover, he sees Bobby right there, and he fucking has that moment, and he goes, man, I want to fucking do it here, and he wants to pin and have it too, and he kicks him, and then as he goes for the cover, I fucking sign and fuck him, and I just was like, at least pay it off, and it's just a cool fucking story, but they had other ideas.
They were just, man, just even sitting here talking, reminiscing about this, there were so many missing payoffs.
Yeah, it sucked because, man, there was a legitimate buzz about the company at that point, man. They were asking, guys like Punk and shit at Comic-Cons, hey, man, you see what's going on in TNA? Like, and it was cool, and I was excited to have an opportunity to keep going on that. We had so many talented people there that was like, man. But you know what, that's, what I learned from that is that, you have to go fight sometimes. I kind of sat by and let them just have to decide that, and I didn't really fight for it. And it's like, well, if you put me in a position and trust me to be that guy, then I should have a say in an opinion and what's going on. And that's part of my issue that I had with this thing with Morrison. Like, it wasn't the dropping the title. Like, it had nothing to do with that.
It was the manner in which it led to,
and
the ride on the way there.
Everything else there. So, anyway, fuck, dude. We're going to work out, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
That's awesome.
all checks out to me, dude. Everything that I recall leading up to that, through to the day of and out, makes a lot of fucking sense. I hope that brought some clarity to people.
I hope
Because
so.
it sure as hell just tied a lot of shit together in my head, and it's funny how time repeats.
And if, Don or, Scott or Sanjay, you guys know, you're always welcome to come down and we'll fucking smoke a joint and talk about it if you have a different recollection. That goes to anybody. Like, shit, dude. Like, I got nothing to hide. I think that's what scares people. Anyway.
I think it certainly would.
Awesome.
Let's hit the road.
Yeah, let's hit the road. Shit, this was fun. Maybe we should do it again. Thanks for watching, guys.